Beautiful. I just went ahead and hit record. I wanted to make sure, Callum, that we hit record right at that moment where you and I were both having a great time so that when people tune in, they're like, man, these guys are great friends, which of course we are.
The energy is here, man. The energy is here.
The energy is here. Beautiful, baby. All right. Well, hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I'm your host, Jon Harris. And today on the Rock and Roll Podcast, we are being joined by CALUM Jones. And he has a new album, which released at the end of last year, November 27th is what I have, called Mirror Glass. And today, Callum's going to be sharing some more information about this stellar release and what he's got going on this year. So, Callum, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm well excited. Excited. This is the first time I've had a conversation with someone that's not my family in a very long time. So, yeah.
Well, that actually brings up a very interesting question because you just released an album at the end of the year 2020, and normally you would be planning shows and maybe some kind of a tour to promote the record. And you mentioned this is the first time you're chatting with another human being other than family. So I guess my first question is to dive in with how has the release of the album been going, and what have you been doing to promote the album in these incredibly unique times?
You know, like I got really lucky. Like towards the beginning of last year because I managed to finish recording literally like 2 weeks before everything got shut down again. It was a bit weird because no one had been talking about it at all. And then it was just like, right, you can't leave your house because this thing has just turned up. So yeah, it was a bit surreal to start off with. And I was super psyched to have it done because it was literally just me in the studio with my engineer Mike, and we just do it all ourselves. We just sit and layer it up. It's really fun. And I'd already decided that I was going to release a track every month of 2020, which was a stupid idea because there was just so much work, man. So much work. I was like, yeah, this is a fantastic idea. We'll just put a track out every month, and it'll just be everyone will be bombarded with me, and I'll never be out their face. And then I realized actually it's difficult because you've got 2 weeks of promotion beforehand, 2 weeks of promotion afterwards for one single, and then you start on the next one. So it was just constant, and I'm never going to do it again. It was a bad idea. It was a really bad idea.
The smartest way I've ever heard that being done is a band actually wrote the entire album. I think it was like 13 songs or something. And they sat on the album and then just said, instead of releasing the album now, we're just going to release one song per month, so that way they kind of varied up what they were working on. So the album was already done. They just needed to focus on the promotion for the year.
That was the same as me, bro. I'm just like really lazy, so it was hard. Yeah, I had it all done. I just had to like put it out into the world. It was just so much work, man. It was horrendous.
It is horrendous. Yeah. Well, that's when you get somebody. I mean, where did Dunk come into the picture? Because he would be helping with an awful lot of that. No.
I mean, like I've only started working with Dunk really recently with Suicide, which was the last single on the album, which is why it's done so well, is because Dunk was on it. Dunk was just like, here you go. I didn't have to do the promotion, so Dunk took the track and made it happen. But yeah, like I'd been speaking to him for quite a while, like with the radio stuff and his podcast and all that sort of thing. I'd done a couple shows for him, like takeovers, and a little bit of presenting with him and all that sort of thing. And it was sick. So he'd been listening to my tunes the entire year, and then he started doing his promotion thing. So I was like, yes, that sounds wicked because I'm broke and you've got nice prices and I know you. So it's just like, at least I can turn around to him and be like, Dunk, man, this is what I want to happen, but I don't know how to do it. So help me, please. And he did it. It was class.
Well,
it's been a roller coaster. And Dunk's kind of been on that roller coaster with me, and he's just been like, "Don't scream. It's okay. You're strapped in.
Yeah,
we've got this."
Exactly. Please have all of your arms and belongings in the vehicle with you, or whatever it is that they say on roller coasters to warn you that you might lose your arms or your face if you do something stupid.
Bro, I lost my arms in the first 10 minutes. They were gone. Away. That was it.
It's hard to hold on after that. All you have left is to scream. But so something you brought up there that I thought was a really interesting point, because I sometimes chat with bands who are like, no, we're going to do the promotion ourselves. And it kind of sounds like the advice that I give, which is don't do that. Just hire somebody. Sounds like a really good idea. So why don't you share us what kind of a relief that was to hire the right help to engage promotion?
It's just a weight off the shoulders, and like it wasn't really a dunk. Can you do my promotion for me? Because obviously I still do all my social media, and I still like email a bunch of radio stations with the album. Dunk's just working on this one single, Suicide, which has been fantastic. And it's great because I mean, like I've been a musician. I've had a music career. That's what I've done for a job for the past 5 years. I started working as a musician when I was like 13.
What? What?
Yeah. What? Yeah. I played in pubs illegally, and it was great. But yeah, so like this is all I've ever done. And we started as I went down to London for a bit, and I did all this like branding stuff, and they made me cut my hair, and they told me what to wear and all that sort of thing. They were like, this is going to make you look cool. And yeah, but like
did it work?
And then I did it.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. I had less hair, my head was cold. I was wearing shorter trousers just because that was the fashion and stuff. Like I buy my clothes in Tesco's. Do you know what I mean? It's like £6.50 for a pair of shoes. But I'm a bit of a cheapskate, but
I get that vibe, Callum. A few times within the first, how long have we been recording now? 7 minutes we've been recording, and you've mentioned the price of something twice. So
yeah,
I don't mean to sound like a stereotypical dude with like Scottish people being cheap, but like you have definitely like you've.
I'm bringing the stereotypes, man. I'm bringing it. Yeah. No, like recently, I'm on a bit of a journey. I'm like, I'm trying to live a minimalist life. I've picked that up, which has been really cool. It's been really eye-opening. So I'm selling all of my stuff, like all of my stuff. So if anyone wants to buy some guitars or drums, if you're listening there, get in touch. They're expensive, but I need the money. Yeah, I don't need the money. I just want the money.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so minimalist, take us through this. What inspired this, and what are you hoping to achieve out of it, and how is it going so far?
Yeah, so basically, I was up at like 4 a.m. Watching YouTube videos, as everyone does. I got stuck in the YouTube vortex of just not being awake, was staring at the screen. And obviously with this whole with the whole situation of being locked in, everyone's trying to like figure out what's going on. And I kind of realized without music, without shows, and without that kind of social interaction, there's not really much going on in my head at all, like ever. I don't really think about much stuff other than music. So when that all stopped, I was like, right, how do I figure out what to do with myself? And then I came across this stuff like the Minimalists. They've got a podcast with like honestly hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. There's no way I'm ever going to get to the end of it, but it's just about living intentionally and not having as much stuff kicking about. Because like the average household at the minute has 300,000 items in it, and like I don't even think. I don't know how there could be 300,000 items in my house, but there probably is. Like, when you think about it, everyone's got a lot of stuff. So I just want to not have that much stuff, just to kind of clear up the surroundings around me. And then hopefully that'll clear up more room in my head for songs and that. Because my memory is shocking. And I think that's because I've filled it up with so many song lyrics and chord progressions. There's just no room for anything else. So the only thing in my head is music at the minute, which is great. So doing that kind of just like eases everything up. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not for everyone, but I think it's kind of like an interesting concept.
In my profession by day, I do cooking, And in my profession, there is a saying that an organized station is an organized mind. And I've taken that particularly to heart in terms of my own personal life as well, because what we do with our physical space, whether it's minimalist or organized or whatever, has a lot of frame of reference to how that person's mind is working in that moment.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like some people call it essentialism, where they literally only have what they need. So they only own the things that they use daily or on like a weekly basis that have a purpose and that sort of thing. Some minimalists take it to the extreme where they've literally got everything they own in a backpack and they just cut about doing what they want all the time, which is a bit mad. I think fair enough, but like if you want something, get it. But if you are just buying something for the sake of having it, then what's the...
Yeah, it was a Black Friday sale. I needed another 80-inch TV.
Yo, an 80-inch TV would be cool, though. That would be sick, wouldn't it?
Now, speaking of mentality or mentalness, or if that's even a word, I'll just go with mental health. Today, as we're recording this episode, Callum, here in Canada, one of our communications companies called Bell has started this thing about talking about mental health. And they decided that January 28th, every year, they're going to run a campaign where we're just going to say, hey, let's talk about mental health. And it's picked up speed over the years. And so today is really quite prominent because of how the year has gone in 2020 and how it's continuing to go into 2021. That like, hey, let's talk about mental health. And you've got a couple tracks here. Number one called Suicide, which you said Dunk is promoting, which there's an awful lot of mental health surrounding that topic. And then the other song is Happy Now, which is quite the juxtaposition to have a song about suicide and then a song about, well, I'm finally happy. So take us through this. Yeah. Take us through this album, Mirror Glass, and let's just start there. Take us through this. What's it about? What's the theme?
It's just a jumble. It's just tunes. I mean, I try to write from where I'm at, which is why during this whole lockdown thing, I've only written like 3 songs. It's been really difficult for me to write because I'm not doing anything. Therefore, I have no inspiration, and I'm kind of just like feeling the same all the time. But Mirror Glass, kind of a lot of the tunes, some of them were written right back at the start, like when I was 13, 14, and some of them were written like 2-3 weeks before the recording session. So I hadn't really planned to make another album, and then it just got to the point where I had enough songs, so I was like, cool, I've got an album. Some of them, like Brothers in Arms, is about it's really about mental health. I actually raised a bit of money for some mental health charities with Brothers in Arms, because it was one of those songs. I'd just come off the phone with a really good pal of mine, and he was saying, look, I'm in this relationship that I'm just not happy with. I don't know how to get out of it, and I'm struggling. And he was kind of just like pouring his heart out down the phone, and I was like, I have no idea how to help you right now. I just want to be able to help you. And he just signed off. He just signed off the phone. He was just like, look, I know I'm in a bad place, but we're brothers in arms, mate. We've got each other. That's cool. And then that kind of just triggered the song. So like the song was written 20 minutes after that. Some of them just like come off the cuff, and then some of them I've been working on for years, and then finally just got around to them. Like Happy Now, I had that riff. I had the guitar riff for Happy Now for, I think it was 3 years before I wrote the song, because I just didn't know how to fit it. And then one day I was just like, right, I've got a cool chorus, and then shoved the riff on front of that. And there it was. It was like, that's the song. That's what I've been waiting for.
Just shoved it in there.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the, like, everyone's like, writing music's so difficult, but it's not, man. Everything is just made up. That's the secret. Everyone is just making it up as they go along. No one has a clue what they're doing.
Whoa, Callum. Whoa. Shh.
Yeah. So that's a secret to anyone watching that. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't
hunt down.
That's right. Cool. Okay, so there definitely is, some mental health topics. Brothers in Arms, that's an interesting topic. Is everybody wants to be with somebody, but what do you do when you are with somebody and you aren't happy?
Yeah. I've got no idea, bro. I'm lucky enough to have not been in that situation. Like, I'm a pretty straight up guy, and when things aren't working, I usually just say so. So, I've been lucky enough that all the people I've been with, and all the, like, even just friendships, all the people that I've like hung about with, and then realized maybe this isn't working out for either of us. It's just been like, it's been a grown up conversation, and we've just said, yeah, this ain't working. So let's just call it quits, and it's been fine. But like, so many people I know have been in that situation where they just can't find a way out of something. And it's because they don't talk to anyone about it. They're trying to figure it out by themselves. But actually, if you can get someone else in on it and like get another point of view, it really does kind of like open stuff up, doesn't it? Like, it's so much easier once you've got a second opinion. So much easier.
Yeah. It reminds me of the advice, somebody says, how do I tell her that I don't want to be with her anymore? Like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple. It's everything has to be so complicated nowadays. It's not. I blame computers. I blame technology.
I also blame computers and technology, specifically social media, but that's another rabbit hole to get down. It's another podcast entirely.
Yeah, man. We should do that one. I'll happy come back. I can rant with you for days about this.
Beautiful.
Rant with you for days about this.
Beautiful. That and memes. I think memes are the death of proper societal discourse, is what I will say.
I literally had a conversation with about memes an hour ago, because I'm a bit of a granddad, right? I don't understand them. I don't get them. And my pal was talking about memes. I was like, mate, I just don't understand the whole meme thing. I'm totally out of the loop. I'm not down with the kids.
Yeah.
And they were trying to explain like why memes are funny and stuff. And maybe I'm just broken, but they're not funny. I don't find them funny. Like, why are people sending me photos with words on them? Like, phone me and we'll talk about real stuff and laugh about stuff that are actually funny. Like, people are sending me photos of cats and that, like wearing banana costumes. And why?
I'll be honest, it sounds amazing, but I understand your point.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand, but maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the issue.
Yeah. With your essentialism, CALUM. Your minimalism. But yeah, I think the part of the political problems as well that we've had in the last year that have exploded are because nobody's willing to sit down and have a conversation. They're just willing to send cats in banana costume pictures to each other, which doesn't address the problems at all.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what suicide's about. Suicide is a political song. It's like, obviously people read the title and they're like, oh, it's mental health based, and some of it is, but actually suicide I wrote suicide I wrote from a place where I was so upset, so angry about the way things were panning out. Like, I mean, if you look at 2020 as a year, it was horrendous. There was so much racism, there was so much like segregation, there was so much violence, and just like no one was actually taking the time to sit and think about how we should deal with this. Everyone's sitting going, we need to protest, we need to have marches, we need to throw ourselves in the way and do everything apart from have a conversation about it, do everything apart from actually sit and think about this is an issue, because like suicide, mainly coming from like where I was, suicide is written about how the government and the place we're at just now, in every first world country at the minute, like you take America, you take the UK, like the government was just a mess. Like the people in charge, it got to the point, it just seemed like they had no idea what they were doing, no idea what was actually happening, and no idea why it was happening. Like, yeah, suicide was about how the way things are heading and the way we're being led is the suicide of our society, because it's not being nurtured enough to be able to grow. It's being held back by the people that are in charge. Yeah, I was just so upset about everything when I wrote it, and I think that's why it's the heavy song out of everything, is because I was just mad. So I was like, let's put the fattest riff I can possibly think of underneath this, and just make the lyrics as blunt and to the point, and just openly, I am against the way things are going just now. So yeah, it was kind of a selfish song for me, because it was literally just my opinion. That's the way I see things. But I also do think it was a valid opinion in the way that it comes across.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Suicide is a very selfish thing, and perhaps valid. Which is sort of, I'm trying to see if I can find the lyrics for the track. I mean, I'm not going to take up too much time trying to find it, but I was seeing if I could quickly find the lyrics. Well, and especially, I'm assuming you're coming from Scotland just based on the accent, but I mean, especially at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, speaking of adults in charge in the UK, Scotland's getting shafted.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's been a bit stupid, really. Like, it's been majorly stupid, especially with this whole music thing coming into play now. Like, we were told that we're not allowed to leave the country without a visa to go touring, which is just going to make it so expensive that it's not going to be possible for a lot of bands to afford to go touring. And then there came the whole thing where we were offered to be able to travel visa-less for 90 days. And then they turned that down. So there was a huge uproar, and now it's been taken into reconsideration. So hopefully we will get that. We will get that offer back, and we'll be able to come and play live without visas for a bit. Because like, I want to go touring. I can't wait to go touring. I've been locked up for way too long, and I want to go and play shows now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been a bit brutal. But I mean, it's been brutal everywhere for so long. Everyone keeps thinking like it's so much harder over there than it is over here, or blah blah blah. But the truth is, we're all on the same tiny spinning blue ball in the middle of nowhere. So I really don't understand what the problem is. I don't really understand why we can't just get along for a bit. It's just pointless, all this fighting about nothing. Because that's exactly it. It's fighting about nothing. It's us and them, when actually all there is us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Starting to sound like more of that minimalism.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've cleared your mind, and you've understood that we're all on a spinning blue ball in the middle of nowhere, and there's no need to be bored. That's the only thing I can think of. People just get bored because they think that they should be doing something when they're just on a merry-go-round. Or, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, everyone's sitting going, we've all got to do this because, when actually, like, it's an accident that we're here anyway. No one really knows why we're here. What's the purpose of everyone being here on this tiny blue ball in the middle of nowhere? We're just going in circles, literally and figuratively, because we don't know what to do with ourselves. We've got all this amazing stuff. Like, we've got all this crazy technology and all these electric things happening. And, like, we've got so many amazing musicians and creatives that are just expressing themselves in different ways. And everyone seems to be thinking that I've got to work to get money because money is what I need. But actually, you don't really need that much money to survive. And as long as you're doing something that you find enjoyable and are able to do that, then that's it. You've won. You've succeeded.
Okay. This could be existentialism, which I know is a new topic, but something to think about, Callum. Yeah. Money is an artificial construct that we have supplanted on something that never required it. I don't need to feed the earth.
Exactly.
I don't need to feed the earth gold coins to get food. I just plant food and I get
food, man.
And I get food. And in order to till the soil and work it and protect it, there's no money involved in that. But we've supplanted this artificial construct of money onto a whole process that doesn't require any money. You just
bro.
You just live. That's it. Just live.
Everything is made up. Everything is made up. Someone made it up at one point, and that's how it got to be what it is. Like, yeah, that's all it is, man. Countries are just separated by water, and some of them aren't even separated by water. Someone just decided that Germany was Germany and America was America. It's made up. Like, money's made up because you could just swap things if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Be like, you've got a PlayStation and I've got a guitar. Let's swap because I want your PlayStation and you want my guitar. Let's chill. Yeah, people are too fascinated by money and shiny things.
Yeah, and even the idea of countries, that's a fascinating idea. So I'm born on this earth and I'm an earthling, yet I'm imprisoned in a construct of invisible borders and documents. And if I want to then go to another part of Earth, of which I should have every right to do as somebody who was born accidentally on this accident, I'm instead withheld because we've decided that we should have an invisible border. It's a fascinating topic, what humanity has created for itself.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like, all of us that are alive just now were born into a system that we didn't sign up for. None of us agreed to the laws that we have or the systems that we have when we were born. They were made like yonks ago, generations ago. So everyone that's alive just now is just cutting about doing what dead people told them to do.
Yeah.
Because that's how we've been brought up. But yeah, it's a funny thing, the world. We're all citizens of the world, but we've got to stay in our lane.
That's right, Callum. And speaking of which, we have to wrap up here. But we've chatted about your new album, Mirror Glass. We've chatted about Suicide, Happy Now, Brothers in Arms. We've chatted about minimalism, existentialism, and essentialism. I guess the only question that I have left before we really wrap up is, do you have any plans for this year, or just kind of taking it as she goes?
I mean, like, this year should be exciting because I've got my new band coming to join me when we finally get back to live shows. Some of my best friends, just like of my entire life, I'm finally getting to make music with, which has been a dream of mine. That is the ultimate goal, is just to be making music, making noise with my pals. So I'm super psyched about that. Hopefully I'll be able to put a tour together for the end of this year, start of next year. We've got a couple shows penciled in for sort of November, December time, which will be fantastic if we're allowed back out by then, and hopefully we will be. But yeah, hopefully I'll get back into the studio as well, get some new tracks recorded, possibly another album. Yeah, just want to keep on keeping on, just keep on doing what we can.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Callum, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock and Roll Podcast today.
Thank you for having me, man. This has been a wicked interview. This is like one of my favorite interviews ever. We've just talked about like cool stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not just been, where'd you get inspired? What do you play? Blah, blah, blah. We've actually talked about topics and that. This is wicked, man. Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. I'm glad you had a good time, Callum.
Yeah, bro. Cheers.